Chapter 11 of Woman as Decoration. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Woman as Decoration by Emily Burbank. Chapter 11. 1. Woman Decorative in Her Garden. In your garden, if you would count as decoration, keep to white or one color. The flowers furnish a variegated background against which your costume of color, gray or white, stands out. The great point is that your outline be one with pictorial value, from the artist's point of view. If merely strolling through your garden to admire it, keeping to the well-made paths, a fragile gown of sheer material and dainty shoes, with perishable hat or fragile sunshade, is in order. But if yours is the task to gather flowers, then wear stout linen or pretty, light ginghams, good to the eye and easily laundered, while resisting the briars and branches. Smocks, those loose over-all garments of soft-toned linens, reaching from neck halfway to the knees and unbelted, are ideal for garden work, and to the young and slender add a distinct charm, for one catches the movement of the lithe form beneath. You can be decorative in your garden in a large enveloping apron of gingham, if you are wise in choosing a color which becomes you. One lover of flowers, who has an instinct for fitness and color, may be seen on a summer morning, trimming her porch boxes in snowy white, shoes and all, over which she wears a big encircling apron, extending from neck to skirt hem. Deep pockets cross the entire front, convenient for clippers, scissors, and twine. This apron is low-necked, with shoulder straps and no sleeves. The woman in question is tall and fair, and on her soft curling hair she wears sun hats of peanut straw, the edges sewn over and over with wool to match her gingham apron, which is a solid pink, pale green, or lavender. Dark women look uncommonly well in khaki color, and so do some blondes. Here is a shade decorative against vegetation, and serviceable above all. Garden costumes for actual work vary according to individual taste and the amount and character of the gardening indulged in. Lady de Bath (Mrs. Langtry) owns one of the most charming gardens in England, though not as famous as some. It is attached to Regal Lodge, her place at Newmarket. The Blue Walk is something to remember, with its walls of blue lavender flanking the blue paving stones, between the cracks of which lovely bluebells and larkspur spring up in irrelevant, poetic license. Lady de Bath digs and climbs and clips and gathers, therefore she wears easily laundered garments. A white linen or cotton skirt and blouse, a Chinese coat to the knees, of pink cotton crepe, and an Isle of Jersey sunbonnet, a poke with curtain to protect the neck, and strings to tie it on. So while she claims never to have consciously considered being a decorative note in her own garden, her trained instinct for costuming herself appropriately and becomingly brings about the desirable decorative effect. 2. Woman Decorative on the Lawn. When on your lawn with the unbroken sweep of green underfoot and the background of shrubs and trees, be a flower or a bunch of flowers in the color of your costume. White, hat, shoes, and all, cannot be excelled, but color has charm of another sort, and turning the pages of memory, one realizes that not a shade or artistic combination but has scored, if the outline is chic. Since both outline and color scheme vary with fashion, we use the word chic or smart to imply that quality in a costume which is the result of restraint in the handling of line, color, and all details, whatever the period. A chic outline is very telling on the lawn. Gown or hat must be appropriate to the occasion, becoming to the wearer, its lines following the fashion, yet adapted to type, and the color one sympathetic to the wearer. The trimming must accentuate the distinctive type of the gown or hat, instead of blotting out the lines by an overabundance of garniture. The trimming must follow the constructive lines of gown, or have meaning. A buckle must buckle something, buttons must be used where there is at least some semblance of an opening. Let us repeat. To be chic, the trimming of a hat or gown must have a raison d'être. When in doubt, omit trimming. As in interior decoration, too much detail often defeats the original idea of a costume. An observing woman knows that few of her kind understand the value of restraint. When turned out by an artist, most women recognize when they look their best, but how to achieve it alone is beyond them. This sort of knowledge comes from carefully and constantly comparing the gown which is a success to those which are failures. Elimination characterizes the smart costume or hat, and the smart designer is he or she who can make one flower, one feather, one bow of ribbon, band of fur, bit of real lace or hand embroidery, say a distinct something. It is the decorative value gained by the judicious placing of one object so that line and color count to the full. As we have said in interior decoration, one pink rose in a slender Venetian glass vase against a green silk curtain may have far more decorative value than dozens of costly roses used without knowledge of line and background. So it is with ornaments on wearing apparel. 3. Woman Decorative on the Beach. With a background of gray sand, steel blue water, and more or less blue sky, woman is given a tempting opportunity to figure as color when by the sea. That it is gay color or white which makes decorative effects on the beach, even the least knowing realize. Plein air artists have stamped on our mental visions impressions of smart society disporting itself on the sands of Dieppe, Trouville, Brighton, or where not. Whatever the period, hence outline, white, and the gay colors impress one. Most conspicuous is white on woman and man; then each color in the rainbow with its half tones, figures as sweaters, veils, hats, and parasols; the striped marquees and gay wares of the vendors of nosegays, balloons, and lollipops. The artist picks out the telling notes when painting, learn from him and figure as one of these. On the beach avoid being a dull note. Dead grays and browns have no charm there. What is true of costuming for the beach applies equally to costumes to be worn on the deck of a steamer or yacht. Chapter 12